بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أعزائي الطلبة، أود أن أقول لكم عيد سعيد وكل عام وأنتم بخير. أريد أيضا أن أرحب بكم في محاضرتنا الجديدة تحت عنوان to be and to have. So to be and to have are generally considered as the most important verbs in English because we use them as verbs for many different situations and also as auxiliary verbs. So naturally they are the first verbs we learn. We generally learn how to use the main functions of to be and to have in the first levels, and then gradually we learn all the uses step by step throughout the course. Let's take a look at each verb and see how we can use them. Within this video, we are going to concentrate on the verb to be. So the verb to be is the first verb we all learn to use. Why? Because it is used in many ways. So we use to be in order to give personal information like name, origin, or age. وأعني بذلك أننا يمكن استعمال to be من أجل إعطاء معلومات شخصية كالاسم، الأصل، الجنسية أو السن. We also use to be in order to describe our feelings. وأعني بذلك أننا نستعمل to be من أجل وصف الأحاسيس أو المشاعر. To be can also be used in order to describe a person, a place, or an object. بمعنى أننا نستعمل to be من أجل وصف إنسان، مكان أو أي شيء معين. To be can also be used as auxiliary verb in order to make either continuous tenses or passive sentences. And I'm going to explain these 2 points within this video, so we just concentrate with me. Now we move to speak about the structure of to be. I mean by the structure, the form of to be, or how can we conjugate the verb to be when using it. So the verb to be is an irregular verb, and even in the present simple it has 3 different forms, which are am, are, and is. The present table can explain to you how can you conjugate the verb to be. So when referring to the singular form, we can say that I am for the written English and am for the spoken English. You are for the written English, or you're for the spoken English. He is or she is or it is for the written English, or he's, she's, or it's for the spoken English. When referring to the plural form, we can say we are for the written English, we're for the spoken English. You are for the written English, you're for the spoken English. And the same thing for they are for the written English and they're for the spoken English. As you can see that there are also contracted forms of the verb to be, which we frequently use in the spoken English as well as in informal writings. By spoken English, we refer to the English used in informal situations or writings. ونعني بspoken English اللغة الإنجليزية التي نستعملها في الأحاديث أو الأماكن الغير رسمية. On the other hand, by written English, we generally refer to the English used in formal situations as well as writings. ونعني ب written English اللغة الإنجليزية المستعملة في الكتابات وكذا الأماكن الرسمية. When making the negative form of the verb to be in the present simple, we usually add the word not. This can also be contracted to make aren't or isn't. I'm going to explain within the following examples. So you say I am not or am not, you are not or you aren't, she is not or she isn't, he is not or he isn't, it is not or it isn't. When referring to the plural form, you may say we are not or we aren't, you are not or you aren't, they are not or they aren't. When asking questions using the verb to be, we always invert the subjects and the verb. I mean, you say am I, are you, is he, is she, is it. In the plural form you say are we, are you, or are they. Now we move to speak about the irregular past forms of the verb to be, which are going to be explained within the next table. So the base is to be. When conjugating to be in the past simple, you either say was for the singular form or were for the plural form. For instance, you say she was absent, we were present. And for the past participle of to be is been. Within the present title, we are going to give a bird's eye view on the main uses of the verb to be. So let's start with the first use, which is giving and asking about personal information like name, age, origin, address. For example, when asking about the name, you say, what is your name? When answering, you say, my name is Asmاء. When asking about the age, you say, how old is he? When answering, you say, he is 25 years old. When asking about the origin, you say, for instance, where are they from? And when answering, you say, they are from Turkey. When asking about the job, for instance, you say, what is her job? And when answering, you say, she is an accountant. Now we move to the second use of to be, which is describing our state and how we feel. So the first example is, how are you today? You can answer me saying, I'm very well, thanks. The second example is, we are hungry. Is there anything to eat? The third example is, the kids are bored. Why don't we play a game? The next example is, you are tired. You should go to bed. The third use of to be is describing people, places, and things. So when describing a woman, for instance, you may say, she is tall and thin. When describing other persons using to be, you may say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith are really kind and friendly. When using to be in order to describe the weather, you may say, what is the weather like? And when answering, you say, it is cold and rainy. When describing other things like the car, for instance, you say, your car is much faster than mine. Now we move to explain continuous tenses which describe progressive actions and situations in the past, present, and future. Within the first example, you may say, you are studying English. So here within this example, you're using are plus studying in order to refer to the present continuous. I repeat, you're using are or to be in the present plus studying in the ing form in order to refer to the present continuous. The second example, what were they doing when you arrived? Here you're using to be in the past. I mean were, which is the past simple of are, plus doing, the verb doing in the ing form in order to refer to the past continuous. I repeat, the tense is called past continuous, to be in the past plus the verb plus ing form. The last example, I will be waiting for you at the entrance of the cinema. So here you're using to be in the future, will be, plus the verb waiting in the ing form in order to refer to the future continuous. I repeat, to be in the future plus the verb plus ing form is called future continuous. The last point has a relation with passive sentences which focus attention on the object of an action in the present, past, and future. So let's read the examples and explain at the same time. Many types of wine are made in Italy. Here we are using to be in the present in order to refer to the passive voice. When transforming this sentence into the active form, we say, they make many types of wine in Italy. The second example, this film was directed by Steven Spielberg. Here we are using to be in the past, was, which is the past simple of is, in order to refer to the passive voice. When transforming this sentence into the active form, we say, Steven Spielberg directed this film. The last example, the new version of this mobile phone will be released next year. Here we are using to be in the future in order to refer to the passive voice, and when transforming this sentence into the active form, we say, next year they will release the new version of this mobile phone. As you notice, dear students, that to be is always used in order to transform sentences from the active form into the passive voice. Finally, I invite you to provide 5 sentences in which you employ the verb to be and its main uses. Here I have written some examples just to show you the way you have to work with. So let's read the examples together and explain at the same time. The first one, what is your email address? Here I'm using to be in the present in order to give information about my email address. For the second example, how was your day? I reply saying, it was bad. Here I'm using to be in the past simple, that is was, in order to describe my day. For the third example, I say, I'm waiting for your reply as soon as possible. Here I'm using to be in the present continuous in order to indicate continuous tenses. For the fourth example, this YouTube channel is devoted for helping students to understand their lectures online. So here I'm using to be is in order to indicate passive voice. For the last example, my students were ready to participate in the competition. Here I'm using to be in the past, which is were, in order to describe the state of my students who were ready to participate in the competition. So try to do the same thing using your own English. Thanks for paying attention. Goodbye.